Hi everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. I have these little acetate pieces from some packaging. They came with some acetate flowers. Can't get my words out, so hopefully you can see those. And they're too pretty to throw away, so I'm going to make just a window face tag for them, I think. Nothing new. It's all been done before, I'm sure, so I just thought I'll bring you along while I do that, and see what we end up making. So I'm going to have this as the, actually I need to think about that now. I want you to be able to see like this nice white scroll work. So I want that as the inside of the tag, if that makes sense. So what I might do is I might cut a tag. So I'm just lining it up with my board here, my mat. And so this acetate piece is 3 inches. So I want a decent border around it so that I can sort of glue it in there, if you know what I mean. So I need to make the tag probably about 4 inches. It's going to be big, 4 inches by 8. Okay, let's just cut that and see what that looks like. That'll constitute the back of the tag. Now I don't particularly want that like obviously you can't write on that, so I'm just thinking I might even just put a pocket on that. So this can be a tag that goes into a pocket in a journal, and I'll put a pocket on there that we can add other bits and pieces to it. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to have another piece the same size as that, but I'm going to cut a rectangle. Clearly I haven't thought this through before I came on camera. So what have I got left here? Okay, so I can use one piece of that. I need to just get another sheet of paper and cut this one by 4 by 8 as well. 4 by 8. Okie doke. So I'm just going to pop them to the side for the moment. Okay. So I want that as showing on the inside on both of those, so that's when you've got the window face, you're going to actually see that nice soft white filigree work there. And then these will be the front of the tags like that, and then I'll cut a pocket, probably just using some of these scraps here that I've got. I'll cut a pocket and put them on the back. So let's just start with one and see if it works out. What's in my brain is going to work out. So basically I want now I've thought about it, I'm going to lose some of that filigree work, aren't I? Because it's the tag's going to come over the top of that. That's okay. I'm going to leave the extra long bits on there because I'll just glue all that down as for extra strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this fairly well in the middle. I'm not sure whether this is even showing up on the camera. I'm sorry if it's not. But I'm just going to draw a line down there, because that's where I want to cut the rectangle inside these lines, if you know what I mean. And then I'm going to just put a line there and a line there. So what I need to do is rule lines going across as well. If I can see where I put my pencil mark. Yeah. So I'm just going to draw a line across here and the same here, just to join that rectangle up. So on the top pieces, top and bottom pieces, I just need to cut with a knife along there, but I want to bring these side pieces in a bit so that I can glue this acetate down to the card underneath. Okay, now this line here is as crooked as a dog's hind leg, so let me just square this up a little bit. Okay, and I think this top one is okay. It's not too bad, it'll do. So what I'm going to do is, and I don't know, as I said, whether you can see the pencil marks. So here I'm going to just cut along that edge there, and I'm going to cut along that edge there with my blade, that edge there. But I'm going to come in probably about 1/4 of an inch from these lines on the side. Okay, and I'm just going to cut a rectangle out. Now I'll go and do that because I'll do that off camera, because I need to stick my head in there and actually see what I'm doing, and you're sure you don't want to see my head stuck in there. So I'll go and do that. I'll go do that on both of them, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've cut the rectangle out, and I'm just going to use an eraser to just get rid of that, oops, the pencil mark that I've done there. Now this one worked out quite well. Well, I think I haven't checked the acetate underneath yet. So you can see we'll lose the little bit of scroll work down here on the sides, but that's okay. Actually, it's not too bad. So that looks quite pretty. This one, I cut it, and I cut, it hasn't gone all the way through, but I did actually cut up here. I don't think you're going to see that. If we do, I can just do a little bit of collage or something on top of that there. It's not going to affect anything, I don't think, because I'm going to sew around the edge of this frame as well. So, and I think I've cut a little bit. Have a cut further there, or is that just the pencil mark? No, it's just a pencil mark. I'm hopeless with the blade, honestly. That's what I use, just a really old, worn out Stanley knife. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to head off to my sewing machine. I'm just going to really roughly sew around the edges just to strengthen that frame a little bit. And I think what I'll do as well is, no, I won't, will I? Won't I? Let me have a think here. I'll sew along the top. Now I'm going to put a little notch in here, in the top of this. And in my other one here. A little notch in there. Okay, I'll ink around all of those, sew around all of those. I'm just going to sew across the top here, sorry, because then when I put it all together, I will then go and sew around the outside. Okay, what I might also do is work out a pocket for the back. So just out of these scraps that I had before. So where's the back? So I've got these two as the backs. And I just want to have a look and see what I want to put on there for the pocket. I might just go with the plain, or the more plain. So I'm just going to use the plainer side of the double-sided cardstock. I'm going to cut the pocket at 3 inches. It's a nice size pocket, I think. And I'll do the same with this one. 3 inches. So there's 2 pockets for the back, and I'll put a notch in there as well. And what I'll do is I will actually sew around them because I'll just end up gluing them on the back. So I'm going to head off and ink and sew. Once again, you don't need to really watch me do all that. Once I've done that, I will come back and show you how it looks. All right, I have inked and sewn around these. You can see I've done it really roughly. That's okay. And then I got a little bit carried away here and just kept sewing. Wasn't thinking, so I wanted to leave that sewing until I put all these together. So I'm going to, it doesn't really matter. So this is what the tag's going to look like. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue the acetate into the front part of the pocket. Now, I don't like, this is really thick acetate, so I don't really like sewing through my machine. So you can see, hopefully you can see, that I've just got a slight edge here on the side to glue, and I've got more here and here. So I'm going to put not as much on the side here, just enough to tack it down, but make sure that I glue a lot on the top here. You need to be just very careful that you don't get your glue into your window. And if you do, it doesn't really matter. We'll just add a little bit of ink, I guess. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I'm really bad with glue. I end up with it everywhere. So I'm going to just put a bit of glue, if I can get it to work, up here. So this has got most of the acetate there, and I'm going to put some here. I'm going to put minimal. I might actually just spread that with my finger there. So I'm just going to spread that smoothly. Just so that the acetate sticks to that. So just like that, and I always push the glue away from the window just so that it doesn't go into the acetate. Back to a voiceover. You may have heard Mum and Katie decided to come downstairs and make a big racket. So I'm just going to do exactly the same for this second tag as I did before. Just add the glue and then adhere the acetate down. I do find later on that I haven't added enough glue on one of these on the side, so I have to go and add more glue, but that's okay. I've just weighted the other one down, you can see there, with a punch and a stapler. It just takes a little bit for the acetate to grab. So I'm just going to put that one on. That's all glued down nicely now, and I'm just going to ink the top of that back part of that tag a little bit. And I'm going to glue 3 sides of the top part of the tag, the window part of the pocket, I should be saying, around the 3 sides, and glue that down to the base. And I'll do exactly the same thing for the other pocket. If you've just got plain acetate, you can use that as well. I just, once upon a time, I would have thrown this sort of thing out, and I just thought the filigree print on it was so pretty, it was a shame to get rid of it or cut that off and just use the piece for plain acetate. So it just gives a little bit of, bit more dimension to your project, I think. So I always look at my packaging a little bit different nowadays. So I'm just gluing that down, making sure that that is all stuck down nicely, which it is, and I'm going to now sew around the 3 sides of the pocket, and just so that just make sure that it's fully adhered and it's not going to come apart. So I'll head off and do that on the 3 sides on each of those pockets. They're all sewn now, and I'm going to just glue 3 sides on these little pockets on the back and put them on so that they're all nicely stuck down as well. So I've got a couple of vintage journals that I've got that I'm working on. So these will go nicely in those. I will also decorate these because I just don't know what I want to put on them. It all depends on how the journal's coming together. I won't decorate them until I actually go to put them in the journal. So that's why you won't see me decorating them. But I think they're a fun little pocket. Just making sure that that's all stuck down and in place properly, and I'll just add a little bit of ink there. There's a little bit of white showing that I have missed. You don't have to use ink if you don't want to. You don't have to sew if you don't want to. It's whatever you prefer. So I think that they are looking really quite nice. Now I just want to make a fairly plain tag just to go inside. I'm going to make it about 3 inches by 7 inches. So I'm just going to use probably some of that cardstock there, Tim Holtz paper that I've got there, and I'll back it with some coffee dyed paper as well. So I'm going to cut that down, back it with coffee dyed paper, and sew and ink them. And I'm going to add just a whale tail punch to the top. So I'll go and do all that, and then I'll be back. So they are all done. I think something, maybe even like a dangle or something hanging from the whale tail punch would look really nice. And honestly, they probably don't even need much decorating on the outside. Really, they look quite nice, I think, but I probably will. So I'm just showing you, you can put bits and pieces in the back, and then the tags will just pull out of those pockets. So come out quite nicely. They're just coffee dyed on the back. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.